Hey guys, it's your humble host. Real quick, after watching a commentary of Barron's, I decided to do my own video, and I felt it best coming from a woman myself. No, this has nothing to do with Barron, but it has everything to do with the video that he commented on, and I went and found the original video thanks to his link. I will be responding to this person, so I warn you ahead of time, this is not for viewers under, I want to say 17, maybe even 18. You have been warned, and I advise do not eat anything during this video. Let's proceed.
Thank you so much for joining Andrew Marlowe TV. So I do apologize for not uploading the past 2 days. That's actually pretty rare for me. Just been super busy at work, super busy answering comments and what have you. So let's get straight into the topic of this video. We got an awesome question from a YouTuber named Short and Curvy Vegan. Thank you so much for this question. And the question goes as follows. What about a video on your thoughts about the way society makes women feel about their menstrual cycles? It's either gross, unclean, or some sort of medical condition that shouldn't be talked about, and how many are ashamed of it instead of it just being a natural process for our bodies that almost all women go through.
Okay, so I want to answer this. I have never really heard of society shaming a woman's period. I mean, and I'm not trying to be gross, but what it is, for those of you who don't know, without getting too much into detail, is when a woman's body matures, every month, depending on when their ovulation cycle starts, a woman's body will prepare itself to get pregnant. Now, if that woman does not get pregnant, the system, her body will flush everything out so that it can start anew next month. This happens for quite a while until menopause kicks in. Periods are gross. It's natural body function, but at the same time, it's a woman's body getting rid of old stuff. There's nothing pleasant about it, and the way society views it is, please keep yourself clean, please use the appropriate feminine product, and I really don't want to smell it. And you know what, that is perfectly okay. I have seen this argument before, and I'll say this one thing before continuing the video. I have seen this argument before to where, well, we don't need to shame women about the period. Society doesn't. Society knows it's there. Society has provided resources, products, information on how to deal with it and what it is. Or rather, that's the science. But you get my point. There is no shaming, there is just please keep yourself clean, especially during this time, and do not share it. Moving on.
You came to the right place because I'm super passionate about a woman on her menstrual cycle.
That sounds really gross, and that sounds really creepy. No offense, but why?
I'm going to sit here and claim to be an expert about the menstrual cycle. I don't know exactly what's going on inside of a woman's body when she's having her menstrual cycle. I just know from my past relationships and just from my fascination and my passion for women in general, this topic just really excites me because I think it's interesting, and I think going...
How are you passionate about it, and how is it exciting? It's a woman's body getting rid of old stuff that it didn't use because it never got pregnant. The woman's body never got pregnant. She never got pregnant, so her body is flushing everything out. Not to get gross, and I'm sorry if this is gross to some of you, this is a little bit part of sex ed. When a woman ovulates, her progesterone levels will go up, and it will thicken her uterine wall. And the reason why this happens is when a woman is impregnated, the egg, once it meets the sperm, will attach the uterine wall and bury itself in there. Now, when the woman is pregnant, the egg will continue to grow off that wall and eventually form her baby. But when there is no egg, there is no sperm that meets and hooks onto the uterine wall, the woman's body will realize this, and take all that blood that thickened the thickened the uterine wall will then be shed, and the progesterone level will drop, cleaning everything out so it can start again fresh. That is what that is. It's not really exciting or interesting per se unless you're trying to have kids. I am not sure what's your fascination with it. I think it's a little bit weird. You seem a little bit too excited about it.
Back to Short and Curvy Vegan's question, the way that society has sort of perpetuated the menstrual cycle, it's almost like women have been burdened with this idea that it's somehow gross, or that it's somehow unnatural, or it's somehow not right that they have their menstrual cycles, and that's completely the opposite. Woman's menstrual cycle is amazingly, perfectly natural, and it's amazingly wonderful, and I would encourage...
Wonderful? What do you mean by a woman's right? No, it's... I don't know how many times I keep repeating this. It's a woman's body preparing for a baby, and when there is no baby, it cleans everything out and starts again. I don't understand. I really don't, and it's just really starting to creep me out.
Any of the men that are out there watching this video, to be open-minded to connect with the woman that you love on her menstrual cycle, because it's going to put your relationship to a whole new level of trust and bonding and just overall passion and overall respect.
No, it won't. Most girls in their right minds will tell you to go away. I'm on my period. Do not touch me. I know for me, particularly with my husband, I don't even want him touching my butt. It's just like, no, I feel unclean, not because society has shamed me, but because I know what's going on. I do keep myself clean, but at the same time, it's like, no, on my period, this is my no-no square, do not touch here until this goes away. And it just, no, if anything, any girl, any woman in her right mind would get grossed out at something like that. I just, most girls really don't like dealing with it. I mean, it's a part of our bodies. I'm not in particularly a favor of it. I kind of wish that I didn't have to deal with it, because it's just kind of like, but at the same time, I do take care of myself so I don't get sick, so I don't make a mess and gross out my husband. And it's no guy in their right mind is gonna want to do that. No guy wants to go there. It's not him shaming his wife or his girlfriend. It's him just going, you know what, this is your body cleaning itself out. No, no, gross. You are gross.
We look at the way that society and the way that, a lot of men sort of view a woman's menstrual cycle. It's really unfortunate, because I think women, they need that love and respect and, support system during their menstrual cycles. I mean,
what support system are you talking about? Love and respect. My husband not touching me anywhere near my butt while I'm on my period is respect. Are you talking about how sometimes women's hormones will get affected by their menstrual cycle? Is that what you're referring to, and it causes the hormones to go there? What support are you referring to? Going out to the store, picking up a box of pads when she's stuck on the toilet? What are you referring to? There is no support system to be had, really. It's just something that comes and goes every month, and I think that my gender makes too much of a fuss about it, to be honest. I know something for me, it's something that comes quietly and goes quietly. I mean, I'll alert my husband, hey, don't do this, or don't touch my butt because I'm on my period, so. But what are you referring to? What type of girl was your ex? I'm really curious, because now this has me legit worried.
For lack of a better word, the woman is sort of losing her ability to reproduce, and that's a grieving process. And
No, it's not. It's not losing. Okay, you stated in the video earlier that you do not know what it was about. Please go do research. It's not losing our ability to reproduce. Granted, we can't, for the most part, get pregnant on a period. There has been girls that have been able to. But we're not losing our ability to reproduce. It's just our body's cleaning out the old stuff because we didn't get pregnant during that time span. You really need to go research about this. Is that what you mean by the support system? Is this what you're referring to?
I've often said this to a lot of different women in my life, that if I could, I would take their periods for them, and it's because I want to feel what that's like. You know, having a female inside of me, it kind of sucks that I can't exactly feel what a woman feels like, to have the menstrual cycles, to have all the, you know, the mood changes and the, you know, the physical altercations, the pain, you know, the cramps and the bleeding and the vomiting. So if I could, I know it sounds crazy, I would put myself in that woman's shoes so I could feel what that feels like to actually be a woman. Because in essence, having a menstrual cycle, the main features of being a female, obviously, every woman gets her period. So I'm not exactly sure why this ideology has sort of popped up in recent years, that women should be sort of shunned and women are not good enough while they're on their periods. In my opinion, it's the exact opposite.
Okay, so, sorry, I need a moment. No, it's not. We're less of a woman, and oh my god, I'm trying to think out how to respond to this. Having a woman having her period is not our main feature, and your body, a male's body, is not able to get pregnant, nor does it go through the cycle each and every month to get pregnant. It's great that you want to be more understanding of women. I can see that, but this is not the way to do it. If you want to be understanding, you will at least go and research what's going on and realize that when a woman is on her period, she will want her space. Any woman healthy in her head would want her space so that she may deal with her period when it comes and deal with it quietly. As for the cramps, that is the uterus contracting while the progesterone levels are falling and all that going off. I'm not sure what oh my gosh, this is so freaking weird. This isn't the first time I've heard this conversation. I actually knew someone who had sex with his girl while she was on her period, but no, that is not the main essence, like, at all, of a woman, or our main feature. It's kind of messed up that you even think that. That's actually kind of insulting. It's a part of what we go through. Yes, there can be vomiting. I've had extreme symptoms when I was younger, but it's not something I'd really talk about. I mean, I let people know if I was feeling sick and I took pain meds, but we're just going to continue with the video.
There's nothing unnatural about a woman's period, and I think, you know, society, you know, tries to do their best with advertising and, you know, female hygiene products and, you know, chocolate and, like, you know, all this, you know, kind of superficial stuff to try to help women cope a little bit better emotionally and physically during their periods, but they're not really particularly making women feel better about themselves on their period. Now, obviously, every woman's got a different type of mindset, you know, and a different type of reaction when they're on their menstrual cycle. I mean, I remember my mother would say that she loved her period because she just felt all these different emotions. She felt almost stronger to a point, even though she was physically weak. Her spiritual level and her mental level was sort of elevated during the menstrual cycle. And I think it's important for women to sort of maybe look at it like that.
No. Some women, and there are a lot who exaggerate this, but there are some women who are legit affected by their periods because their hormones are changing levels and it's making them look crazy. There's nothing spiritual about having a period. if you're that emotional during your period, I'd say go get your hormone levels checked, because that's a way drastic change with the hormone levels going on. And I had extreme symptoms, yes, but I never had the emotional part. I had more of the physical part. But mental experience, no. If anything, it's a royal pain in the neck, especially when you have the extreme symptoms, the physical ones. And why would your mom be discussing her period with you, dude? I mean, that is so inappropriate. You're not her daughter. Why the heck are you... Never mind. Just continue, please.
I remember reading a lot about different religions and how women were treated during their menstrual cycles. And a lot of ancient Native American cultures would almost the women would be sent off to sort of, be on their own during their menstrual cycles to sort of spiritually grieve, so they couldn't, sort of like infect, their local families or communities or other women that were not on their menstrual cycles with their sort of corrupted menstrual cycle energy. And from my point of view, I don't think that's right. I think that's cruel. I think it's, I'm not trying to ditch, Native American cultures. I have an enormous respect for ancient Native American cultures, and obviously not every ancient Native American culture did this, but I think that it just goes to show you that ideology that women are somehow creepy or dirty or need to be sent off somewhere. They need to be, dislocated from society or from their loved ones, from their family, from their partners during their period. It's just not true anymore. You can really stop to think about it.
Sorry, I know, bad place to stop. A lot of cultures did separate their women because it was old stuff. It is dirty. It really is. That's why we have all these feminine products. That is why we have particular soaps and particular wipes and things like that, so we can better take care of ourselves, because it is gross. It's old stuff leaving the body. It's almost, sorry, my nose is itching. It's almost like going to the bathroom. However, we have no control when it comes out. That is why we have feminine napkins. Sorry, this is roasting people out. I'm really trying not to go into detail because, ugh. But we no longer have to separate ourselves or be separated, because there's been sources and items and studies provided for us women that we can go and take care of this and not have it affect anyone else or make a mess. Or it doesn't have to affect our lives, or that we can go about our day thanks to these products. Yes, people did separate them because it was unclean, and if not dealt with properly, it could become unhealthy. It could make you sick. It's dealing with used blood, okay? So yes, there was a reason why people separated it, because there was no way to properly deal with it back then. Now there is, so you don't have to do that. Makes sense?
An important thought that just popped in my head is just the fact that we are a product of a woman's menstrual cycle. I mean,
no, you're not. No, you're not. Menstrual cycle, once again, all that old stuff leaving, an egg will not be able to attach if the progesterone levels drop, and all that stuff that gathered on the uterine wall left. You are a product of a sperm and egg coming together and attaching to said uterine wall before the menstrual cycle. As I have stated before, and I'm repeating myself again, you stated at the beginning of this video, you do not know what a menstrual cycle is all about. For the love of God and for the love of everyone's sanity, go research this topic and actually get some knowledge before spewing whatever it is that you were spewing here.
Woman, obviously if she's pregnant, she gives birth to you, but when she's not pregnant, obviously when a woman doesn't become fertile, when she's not producing babies, she's going to have this type of menstrual cycle unless she's got some type of physical condition, or maybe she's on birth control or something. That's another interesting.
Okay, so I guess you kind of know what you're talking about, but still, why are you spewing all this if you know why it happened, what the result is? Where are you I don't get this. This is really gross, and this is really freaking me out because I know this dude right here, Andrew, is not the only guy that thinks this way, and that's really disturbing.
Interesting topic is a lot of women nowadays, you know, they want to get on the birth control, they don't want to have periods, and that's just, I think that's so, you know, a lot of women have reasons for not wanting their periods, obviously, because they have really heavy periods that physically and emotionally drain them, and, you know, they bleed so much. Maybe they got medical complications where it's better off that they either don't have a period or maybe have a little bit easier time with their periods. But I think it's just, it's almost like cutting off a little part of your femininity. It's almost like cutting off and throwing away a little bit of your what it means to be a woman.
No, it's not, and let me explain to you why some women get on birth control. I am not on birth control myself because it jacks with my hormones way too much, and it caused me a lot of problems. But for women who have an unnatural hormone imbalance, meaning that either their progesterone is higher than their estrogen or vice versa, it can cause weight gain, it can cause all sorts of stuff. So by some women taking birth control, it balances these hormones out to where they can properly lose weight, they can have easier time with their periods. And there are women who don't want their periods at all, which I think is rather stupid, because as I've discovered with being on birth control myself, when your body, let's say the depot shot, when your body is on the depot shot, it tricks your body to think that it's pregnant, and when your body's pregnant, your progesterone levels will go up. So when you're on the depot shot and you don't have your period, which I did not, it's going to keep gathering and gathering and gathering and gathering, therefore the weight gain. It has nowhere to go, so it's just your progesterone is going to keep going up and up and up, thickening your uterine wall more and more and more. So, and period has nothing to do with femininity. It is a biological function that we women have when we are not having babies. When we are pregnant, we don't have our periods. There's spotting, and that's for different reasons during pregnancy, but it has nothing, periods have nothing to do with femininity, like, at all. It does not make us feminine. That's not what defines our femininity. Again, I'm not sure where you're going with this. I understand that you're trying to be understanding of women, but the way you're coming across is really creepy and really gross.
I just remember being like a child, and you know, my mother would talk about being on her period, and then as I got older, you know, I had girlfriends that talked about being on their period, and it never once crossed my mind to shun these women or to think any differently of these women. If anything, thought more of these women. I revere these women even more because they were going through that sacred, you know, almost sacred ceremony each time of the month. And
there's nothing sacred about it. Yes, it does signify that old stuff is leaving you, but honestly, there's really nothing sacred about it. And I'm really curious as to what type of women you date, and that's not an insult, because they really shouldn't be talking about their periods with you. It's something that women discuss with other women, or look up if they have questions, or discuss with their gynecologist. I know it's not a conversation I have with my husband. And I even warn him when I'm taking care of business in the bathroom, like, hey, don't come in here, I'm doing this, and you avoid the bathroom for a few minutes. So no, it's not a normal conversation for men and women to be having. I'm not sure why you want to talk about it. It's a little weird, and it comes across in like a fetish sense for you to be talking about it. I mean, thank God I already ate, but it was pasta before watching this. But no, there's nothing sacred about it. There's no sacred passage. There's none of that.
Knew that they were going to need even more of that extra boost of emotional and spiritual love, basically. And I think from my past relationship, I just remember how wonderfully and beautifully and passionate our lovemaking was while my girlfriend was on her period. That's the true dedication of someone who loves you, is that they can be dedicated to you and make love to you on your period. You know, we've got all this stuff in
No, 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 no. Ew, no. There is, no, that's not dedication. That's gross. That really is. No, why? And I know that women think that it's dedication if a guy has sex with her on her period, and guys are led to believing the same thing. No, it's not dedication. It's disgusting. It's unsanitary because that stuff can get inside of a guy's penis. And granted, I've never heard or come across yet of any infections, but that stuff can get inside of a guy's penis, and I'm sure it causes all sorts of nasty stuff. It just, no. There's nothing pleasant about it. You're making a mess. You would have to stop so the guy can go clean off if you guys wanted to do something else, sexual-wise. I don't understand. It's like trying to have sex with someone while they're going to the bathroom. I mean, that's how I see it. I'm sorry. I'm really grossed out, and I felt like I needed to say something after watching Baron's video because, wow.
Society like red wings and just little stereotypical demeaning things. They're little jokes like that, but they sort of demean the act of men attempting to be physically intimate with the women that they love during their periods. No,
it's not. It's saying, oh, it's that time of the month, so I'm gonna have to be in a pickle jar for a few days. That's what that is. It's not them trying to avoid sex and saying, oh, okay, I understand you're gonna be maintaining a little bit more the next couple days. I mean, no, my husband isn't offended. If anything, he's grateful for when I tell him, and he's not surprised in a nasty way. So, granted, he's a little disappointed sometimes, but he's very happy that I tell him, hey, time of the month, nah.
All that abnormal for a man to want to make love to a woman on her period. But I think women have this ideology that it's unheard of, it's so uncommon, and I keep saying men, but obviously this could go for a lesbian couple as well. There's nothing wrong with connecting with a woman during her menstrual cycle. It's it's a beautiful, amazing thing, and as you guys can see, I can't really put it into words because it's just so beautiful, and it's so intimate, and it's so sensual, and it's obviously very sexual as far as the love making is concerned. You really get to feel the essence of the woman that you love. You get, when you're seeing her blood, when you're feeling her blood, when you're smelling her blood, when you're tasting her blood, it's almost like you're ingesting a part of this woman's essence.
Oh, ew, ew, ew. No, did you just say tasty and smelling? You sound like you have a blood fetish. I mean, you really, really do. No. Why? Why do you think that's okay to do? No, that's old stuff coming out of us. It's not our essence. It's not a part of who we are. It's part of one of our biological features, or functions rather, but it's not. No, if my husband started doing that, I'd be creating a distance because that is so freaking gross. There's nothing sanitary about it. I am serious. You really need to go research what is going on with that, and you might be grossed up. Not gonna lie. There's nothing delightful about that. There's nothing sexually arousing about that. No, you need help. You really need to go get help. Oh my gosh, how long did this video? It's got about 2 minutes.
She's not any less beautiful, she's not any less sexual or sensual when she's on her period. Maybe if she doesn't want physical contact on her period, then that's her choice, and obviously I would respect that. But I am totally down to be with a woman on her period because I want to feel what that's like with her. I can't really feel it for her because obviously I'm a man and I don't
In other words, you have a freaking blood fetish, and I do not know why people develop this. It's freaking gross.
Don't have a menstrual cycle, but it does allow a man to connect a little bit better and to gain a better understanding of what what a woman goes through during her period. When a woman is on her period, for me, if I'm in a relationship, I will constantly cater to this woman's needs. I will constantly study her and scrutinize, not scrutinize in a bad way, but I'm always keeping a careful eye and just absorbing all this information that this woman is giving me about her menstrual cycle, so that.
Okay, so if you cannot cater to her every specific needs, especially if she has extreme emotional symptoms of the period, because that is her hormones going haywire, causing her to be over emotional, causing her to overreact, jump off the rails with her temper. No, and if you really want to absorb all this information, go study it. There are times where I've come across emotional to my husband and he goes, your emotions, your hormones are like out of whack right now. No, there's nothing to partake in. A man will never, and no offense fellas, and I'm sure that you're okay with this, a man will never understand what it's like for a woman to go through a period. Why? Because we have different levels of hormones. Women have progesterone and estrogen balanced and just a little bit of testosterone. Men have progesterone and testosterone with a little bit of estrogen. You guys will never understand that hormonal shift. Yes, you guys can have your own version of what's called PMS, where you guys get pissy and things like that, but it's completely different for women. There is no making them the same. You won't be able to understand it, and to have sex with a woman during her period, to just immerse yourself in that is not going to help you understand anything at all. If anything, it makes you really disturbed in your head. It makes you come across as if you have a blood fetish, which I really think you do, just by the way that you talk about it and the way that you come across with it.
Next time I can better respond to it. Next time I can be more aware of maybe when she's getting it, when her period's going to go. I mean, my ex-girlfriend, I just remember like going to the store and getting pads for her. But I was so in love with this woman that I actually kept one of her blood-soiled period pads. Like, I kept it for about 1.5 years after we dated. Hard for me to let go of this particular woman so much more because we had connected in her menstrual cycle. And I think
you kept one of her pads. Are you serious? That is creeper status, and that's a bit psychotic. Why? What is your obsession with periodic blood? I kind of want to know to see where you fell down the rabbit hole, but at the same time, I don't want to see where the rabbit hole goes with you. In that sense, that to any normal woman or girl, that is legit creepy, and that is grounds, and I'm not kidding, some girls will take it that far, that is grounds for a restraining order. Some girls do feel that way and will take it that far. If I found out a guy had kept a pad of mine, no, you would keep your distance far, far away from me. That is just mentally disturbing. This ain't even funny anymore, man. I mean, I don't want to say it was funny at first because it really wasn't. Barry's video was funny from his reactions and things like that, but now that I've watched the video myself, this video, I am really disturbed, and you need to go get help, because that is, like I said, you come across as a real creeper, and I am very curious as to why she broke up with you in the first place. I wonder if this had something to do with it. I really do. I'm not making fun of you, but I really do, because I am legit worried right now.
It's a little bit risky because for me personally, I get even more physically, emotionally, and spiritually attached, and it makes me worship these women even more if I can connect with them during that special time of their menstrual cycle. So there's really no reason in 2016, almost going into 2017, that we should have any sort of taboo viewpoints or ideologies towards a woman's menstrual cycle. If it wasn't for a woman's menstrual cycle, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of this camera talking right now, recording this video. And thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and until next time.
Okay, so you worship women more, or started to because you got intimate with them on their period? Something is not connecting, something does not compute here. I don't know what more to say in this video than what I haven't already said, but I will repeat a couple points. One, go research what a menstrual cycle is. Two, no respectable woman or lady would want to have sex on her period, as she knows it's something that her body is getting rid of old stuff, and so she'll deal with it properly and just do her business with it. Three, you need freaking help. You need to go have your head checked. You come across as a creeper. I don't know if your behavior is out of a sociopath or just something psychologically wrong. I don't know, but I am legit creeped out right now. This isn't even funny, man. This is disgusting and really creepy, and this is not the first time I've heard this come out of the mouth of a guy, and I don't know why this is catching on. I really don't. It's number 4. Overall, this video was just a little bit hard to watch. There is no taboo with women's periods. There is no taboo with our body functions. There really isn't. I know the feminists like to run around with this little parade and say, just free bleeding. But as to why guys are now starting to spew the same stuff, it's really, really mind-numbing. And a woman's period is her time to just maintain herself a little bit more, to make sure that she's physically taken care of in regards to hygiene. If she does have those emotional problems, then it's important to just take time to just really catch when you are being overly emotional and journal or do whatever it is you need to do. If you need to take Advil or something for the cramps, then please take it, but it's nothing to be ashamed about. I don't know what he's going on about. I mean, I think I'm done. I'm legit done with this video. I like Barion's version better. He didn't have the full-length video.